What's going on, guys? Happy Monday. Welcome to today's quick little video. Thought I'd just do a quick video on the big girl that's been sitting up here in the background of all the videos. I actually had the owner hit me up the other day. He was, reckons a fair few of his mates had been watching and had wondering why the HQ's been benched. Why you haven't seen it for a while. So I figured if they're wondering, there's probably a whole mess of people who are wondering. So just thought I'd make a quick video on where it's up to. From the last episode, all of the fab and wiring been done, which is all sweet. We started pulling it all out, which was the next step to try and get everything to coating. So there's been, it's the old Swiss cheese deal where there's just heaps of bad things that have aligned to just really push it, I suppose, back way behind schedule. So I suppose we'll start at the start. First things I won't go too far into, but this hoist that it's on we've had a lot of issues with it from the get-go. We're still trying to work through it with the company that we bought it off, so I don't want to go too into detail with it. It's been frustrating how long it's taken to sort out, but yeah, I'm not going to say anything on it because it's still ongoing. So that's been a problem. So we're trying to limit how often it comes up and down as much as possible right now. So that's why it sort of sits up there. So the second big thing, which has been a bit of a pain, is trying to find someone who would do the ceramic and powder coating that did a good job. Now Ryan, the guy who does all the fabrication, he recommended us someone that he uses because we've heard some horror stories about some companies doing ceramic coating and powder coating and it basically just coming straight off, and it's the last thing we want with this thing, particularly with obviously being a car that's from so far away. We really want this thing to be all Mickey Mouse when it leaves here, and hopefully the owner never has to really touch it, except for just scheduled servicing and stuff like that. So that's the plan. But anyway, we could not get onto this mob that our fabricator had recommended. We tried for ages, we just gave up in the end. Tried to find another mob. We have found someone we're going to try. We don't really have any feedback on what the quality's like, but fingers crossed it's going to be freaking wicked. So I've got that sorted out for well, it was meant to be this week. You can probably tell I'm sick as a dog. Here I am. Second time in 3 weeks that I've been absolutely just wrecked, just woken up sick as. Yesterday, woke up super sick. It's been rough. Oh yeah, that's right. I started off this video with Happy Monday, but it's actually Tuesday. I keep forgetting it was Anzac Day yesterday. I thought you did that on purpose. No, that was just my bad. So anyway, yeah, basically we finally found someone that is going to do the coding for us. So that's an awesome step forward because that was something that's been holding it up. Essentially, the idea was that we were actually meant to be working on this thing right now in this period over the past sort of 2-3 weeks. Obviously, firstly, the dyno shitting the bed when it did has sent us for a 6 as far as delays and problems have gone. Obviously, we've got all these things on the go, all these projects that you see us working on. Problem with all of them is that we can't actually turn in and go them out the door without a dyno. We sort of need the dyno to finalize them all and get them out, which means that not having a dyno really slows up our cash flow, which, you know, I'm not going to go too into detail about that, obviously, on a public YouTube video, but it does create some problems. In the meantime, I've been trying to work through a backlog of engines we've had to build to try and get some engines out the door, because that's something we can get out without a dyno. But it's, yeah, it's created a lot of issues for us, obviously. Like this thing, for instance, got it in here this morning, got the Turbo Patrol out for a while. This thing is meant to be going, or meant to be ready for a meet that's meant to be getting picked up this weekend. We just got word, basically, or another update from the dyno company, basically saying that, you know, ours definitely isn't going to be back this week. So that's created a problem for us. So we've got a bit of work to do with this thing, and then we're going to have to try and maybe look at getting it to another dyno to try and sort it out, which again means we lose time. Obviously, it costs us a lot of money and stuff, but we've got people that we support that we need to get places. You know, we've still got the onsong Performance R33.4 here. That's meant to be ready for the CQ Drift Comp in a few weeks. So it's very, very stressful, still not having a dyno and still not having a solid date for when it's going to be back is the most stressful thing. So we're sort of hanging on to the fact that it's going to be ready to get all these cars ready for these events. Even if we just had a solid date, it would help a lot. But, you know, it's no one's fault. It just is what it is. But it is something that's really, really affected the way things have been flowing through here. The second big thing on top of that was, you all guys, or they've been around the channel know, Adam the Creature. Those of you who've been around for a while. So Adam's obviously a fabricator. He's done a lot of little fab jobs for us over the years. He used to be a big part of the channel. Still is a fairly big part, I suppose. But he was meant to be starting doing just weekends for us between his regular job. He was meant to sort of start at the end of last month, was the idea. And it was sort of all lined up and he was pretty keen, and I'd taken on a fair bit of work on the grounds that was going to be 3 of us here for weekends at the very least. So basically, like the fabrication that's been done on the Turbo Patrol that you've seen Rex do, the fabrication that we're going to have to do to this thing, lots of little bits in fabrication on a lot of these projects. We had sort of planned for Adam to be doing on the weekends so that we could obviously continue on with things like this. Obviously Adam has not been here. He had some other things come up, and unfortunately it basically just delayed his ability to start doing weekends for us, which it's not his fault at all. It just, again, it's just another one of those things. It's certainly not Adam's fault. Just adult life things get in the way. Yeah. It's just put us in a bit of a pickle, really, is all that is. So obviously, as you've seen, Rex has had to do all of that fabrication on the Patrol, which it's not that we can't do it. As you've seen, Rex has been doing a freaking wicked job. It's just that it's very, very time-consuming stuff, which if we had someone else here doing, obviously, we could be doing other things in the meantime. So those are basically the main things that have meant the HQ has sort of just mostly been sitting there a little bit neglected. In the meantime, obviously, it hasn't just been getting ignored. We've been trying to get through a lot of what we have left to do in the car are still one-off parts that we're trying to work our way through. Developing these one-off parts is very, very time-consuming. You know, it's what do you call it? Come up with the idea, and then you got to draw up and prototype. Sometimes 1, 2, 3, 4 times prototyping before you can get to a point where you can actually get them finalised and CNC'd and things like that. So there's still quite a bit of that on this car, which we're working through, namely the idler pulley for the old AC. Oh no, not AC. Where the alt used to be on the barrel, we've got to develop an idler that can mount there to keep the stock belt route, because we have to retain the stock belt route for that to work for the high mount alternator with the electronic power steering. So that's a one-off part that's got to be developed and prototyped and made. We've got obviously our shifter setup. We've got someone here. We've got obviously our shifter setup, the shifter gate, which you always know that we have been developing, as well as obviously the bracket for the IC7, which needs to go on the dash. That's another one-off part that has to be developed. So also the surge tank that's got to go up the front is another one-off part that we have to develop. So there's a lot of that stuff that we're still working towards as we can in our spare time, which is still getting done so that we are, you know, still moving forward with the project. We're finally at a position now. We've got a few engines going out today, which means we'll finally have some engine stands back to get the actual gassy back on a stand and actually start getting it built. But once again, it's not been a huge hurry because there's still been so many other things to do. Sorry guys, just had to deliver that engine to that guy. But yeah, that's essentially what's going on. Obviously, none of this is any fault of the car or this owner or anything. It is unfortunately just the way things go when you're trying to run a business like this, and the limitations of the space and the manpower that we have. So, you know, it is what it is. It is basically next on the list. We want to get, obviously, these 2 4-wheel drives that we're building at the moment that you've been able to see. Both of those are the owners, like their only car. They sort of really need those back ASAP. So we're trying to get those out the door as soon as possible for those people that are sort of relying on those vehicles. And then obviously we have a few little cars here. Well, not little cars, but little jobs. not such little cars, but little jobs in and out, which have to be ready for events and things like that we sort of have to try and get for those as well. But we do have a sort of a new deadline for the HQ, so we will be working towards that. But yeah, it's just hard, you know. Like I talked about, obviously having the dyno out of action and having that slow up our cash flow has nothing to do with this car or the owner or anything like that. It's just a matter of the fact that normally that's how we turn out our smaller jobs in between the bigger ones, and in the meantime we still have to live. So Obviously, turning out engines and stuff that we've had backlogged as well is a way that we can sort of keep the cash flow happening and keep paying bills and stuff like that. So it's just the way the cookie crumbles. Hopefully Adam can start doing the weekends for us fairly soon. That would be a huge help, obviously, to us. And as most of the people who are members know, the plan is obviously to get this shed finished off hopefully in the next 3 to 4 months. Yeah, 4 months being realistic. So if we can get that extra space in the next 4 months, that would be a freaking huge help as well. And hopefully we don't end up in these positions like this so much. And hopefully when the dyno gets back here, it's never fails again. That'd be great. But yeah, all of these things together have left us in a bit of a spot of bother. And you know, obviously there's only so much 2 of us can do in 24 hours in a day. So there's a lot going on. It seems that my body is just not liking the amount of hours that it's working. I just keep getting sick, which is really, really frustrating. But anyway, that's enough. That's the update on pretty much why it's not been benched, but why we aren't completely sole focusing on this right now. But yeah, hopefully we'll, the new deadline is, I think, I'll have to double check the event he sent. I think it's July. I think it's middle of July. So that's sort of what we're working towards now for a new deadline, which obviously by then, friggin', yeah, hopefully all this out of here. Dyno's been back in action for ages. We've caught up on that backlog and hopefully we've got that thing pretty much ready to rumble. So that'll be the plan. That's the idea. Hopefully we get it there. But yeah, it's full on. It's stressy. We need more people. I've actually got a bloke coming out today, which may be starting to do some work for us. Not obviously no fab work, but he has been around for a long time and definitely knows his way around engines and stuff. So he could be a huge help to us. So hopefully that works out for us as well. At the moment, just about anything to take some load off our shoulders and free up some hours, because it's yeah, a lot of work, a lot of work for 2 blokes. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you're enjoying it. Hope you're looking forward to getting back into that. We certainly are. It's one of those things where we do want to get it done and get it out of here very soon, because it's the sort of thing that we hope to really slingshot our business. So fingers crossed. And thanks for watching, guys. Peace out. See you. Bye.